Sham Sharadava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karuna Ghana Ghanatam Sham Sharadava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karuna Ghana Ghanatam Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrinda Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Gora Shri Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrinda Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrinda Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrinda Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrinda Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhyam Manasura Sena Mahaprabhu Romanchakam pasru taranga bhajo Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Romanchakam pasru taranga bhajo Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Shri Vigrahara Dhana Nityanana Shringaratanama Niramarjanado Dhana Nityanana Shringaratanama Juktasya Bhaktam Cha Niyunjatapi Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swatana Triptan Hari Bhakta Shangan Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swatana Triptan Kridvaiva Tripte Bhajata Shadeva Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Kridvaiva Tripte Bhajata Shadeva Vande Gora Shri Shiradikama Vabayarapara Madhura Leela Gunarupanamna Shiradikama Vabayarapara Madhura Leela Gunarupanamna Pratekshana Swadanalupasya Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Ne kunja yono ratikeli siddhai jayali bhir yukti apekshaniya ne kunja yono ratikeli siddhai jayali bhir yukti apekshaniya tatra tidakya atibala bhasya Vande Gora Shri Charanarvrindam Sakyadharidena Shamastashrashri Uktastatthava Bhataiva Sarve Sakyadharidena Shamastashrashri Uktastatthava Bhataiva Kintu Prabhoja Priya eva tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrindam Kintu Prabhoya Priya eva tasya Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasya Prasadam Nagati Kutapi Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutapi Yayam Stuvam Stasya Yashasrin Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrindam Yayam Stuvam Stasya Yashasri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Dhyayam Stuvam Stasya Yashasri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrindam Nama O Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Nama O Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunavadi Vajatari Shatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Chaitanya Nityananda Srivasari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Nama, Krishna Jadavaye Nama, Jadavaye Madhavayo Kesavaye Nama, Gopal Govindaram Shrimad Sudam, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan, Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghuna, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Radhe Radhe, Radha. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama, Jaya Sudarshan Chakra. Jaya Sitaram, 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 Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Pramanandi, Haribo. Jai Om Vishnu Paraparam Saparvajagacharya Ashtotara Sarashishimari Skon Pratishta Bhiviti Samstapakachara Vaishnava Siramani Gaura Priya Jana Krishna Prema Bhaktidatta Patita Pavana Divine Grace Abhacharamina Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ji Ki Jai Shri Gauriya Guru Varga Patitu Udhari Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Guna Sadgos Swami Prabhu Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ji Ki Jai Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai Prem Sikho Hosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai Jai Param Dayal Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Jai Pramanama Sankirtaneka Janaka Prema Purushottama Shri Sachinandan Shriman Gauranga Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaura Hari Mahavranavatar Ki Jai Bolo Kera Pramadhan Hrinam Sankitan Jaga Ki Jai Jugu Dharma Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai Brihat Midanga Transcendental Book Distribution Seva Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Goputna Radha Kunsyama Kun Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Brajabam Vrindavan Mathurudham Ki Jai Dear Lordship Shri Radha Nilamadhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Mayapur Navadvip Ekachakradham Ki Jai Parama Karuna Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Ketra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Swami Baladev Prabhu Srimati Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhakti Sarva Vigna Vinashana Karan Shingare Bhagavan Ki Jai Jaganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Vrindi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Bolo Shri Mathuradharani Ki Jai Shamaveta Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai Nitai Gauri Pramanande Haribo. All glories to the Assembly Bodies, all glories to the Assembly Bodies, all glories to the Assembly Bodies, all glories, glories to Shri Guru Shri Gaur.
Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
Pralada Dadaine हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वशः शीलटङ्कानखालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नाखा मधुदशृङ्गा दरिता हिरण्यकशिपू तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरे नाखा मधुदशृङ्गा दरिता हिरण्यकशिपू तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
गौर प्रमाण श्री वृंदाई तुलसी भाई श्री वृंदाई तुलसी भाई प्रिय के सब सत्य विष्णु भक्ति प्रादिदेवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाई तुलसी बाई प्रिय के सब सत्य विष्णु भक्ति प्रादिदेवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाई तुलसी देवाय प्रिय के सब सत्य कृष्ण भक्ति प्रादिदेवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha
Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha
Radha Krishna Seva Pabo Hey Abhilashi
Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi
Radha Krishna Seva Pabo Hey Abhilashi
Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi
Ye tomar sharan loy Tara vancha purna hoy Kripa kori koro tare Vrindavan basi Mora ye abhilasa Vilas kunj diyo basa Nayane heri bo sada Yugal ruparashi Ye nivedana dara sakiranu gata kara seva Seva adhikara diye koro nija dasi Dina Krishna das ko ye namora hoy Shri Radha Govinda preme sada ena basi Shri Radha Govinda preme sada ena bhasi Yani kani cha papani Brahmahatyadikani cha Tani tani pranashanti Pradakshina pade pade Yani kani cha papani Brahmahatyadikani cha Tani tani pranashanti Pradakshina pade pade Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vrinde Devi, Jaya Vrinde Devi, Vrinde Devi, Jaya Vrinde Devi. Jaya Tusi Maharani, Jaya Tusi Maharani, Tusi Maharani, Jaya Tusi Maharani. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Shri Vrindai Tulasi Priya Ke Sava Satya Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vrindai Tulasi Priya Ke Sava Satya Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vrindai Tulasi Devai Priyaye Ke Sava Satya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Jai Shrimati Tulasi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Gaura Pramanande Haribo. O Tulasi, beloved Krishna, I bow before you again and again. Matters to obtain the service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of his wishes fulfilled, bestow your mercy upon him, you make him resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you also grant me a residence in pleasure groves of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of Kavi damsels of Raj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise. May I always swim in love with Shri Radha and Govinda. Shri Mati Tulasi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. There are 10 offenses in matter of chanting the holy name the Lord avoided. Blaspheme, the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider names of demigods are Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the very scriptures or scriptures. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct the fearless person about the glories of the holy name. And 10. To not have complete faith in chanting the holy names and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It's also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must carefully guard against 10 offenses in order to now let's offer sorry. Jai Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyascha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrindi Ki Jai Kura Pramanande Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. This is a very important part of the morning program up to this point. So then you can go. You know, so you worship Tulsi, offer obeisance to Vaishnavas, then you can go. Only a few minutes extra, so instead of leaving before, you know. So Hare Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shri Kastakam Ki Jai Chaito Darpanam Ajanam Bhava Mahada Bhagni Nirvapanam Shri Akariva Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam Anandam Budi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Shradanam Sarvatmasnam Parampara Vijayati Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Vaudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Shmarane Nakala Etadrisitava Kripaya Bhagavan Mamapi Durdhaivam Idrishamiya Janina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Na Dhanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitamba Jagarisha Maye Mama Janmani Janmanishari Bhavatar Bhakti Rahaitu Kitvayi Ainandatanu Jakinkaram Paritamam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dhuli Sadrisha Galora Shrudharaya Bhajanam Gadagada Rudhaya Gira Pulakarinchitam Bapukada Tavanam Agrahane Bhavisati Jugaitam Nimishena Chakshusha Prarusaitam Shunyaitam Jagata Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Aslisava Padaratam Pinastumam Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotuva Jatata Thava Vidadhatulam Pato Matpranathastu Sa Ivana Para Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sri Kastakam Ki Jai. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tvishe Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutarishmari Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nivrishesha Srunavari Pasatyarishatarine. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life at the period of birth and death. This Sankirtan moment is the primary benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we're always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds, millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energy. There are no even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Once you chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself a Lord on straw in the street, one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer respect to others. In such state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your cause, the devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharajananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet some or other I have fallen in this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And will the hairs of my body stand on the end of the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in will in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he should remain so, even if his hand takes me rightfully by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shri Krishna Kam Ki Jai. Shri Guru Vandan, Mangala Charan Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Mandiham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vintam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamcha Nama Om Vishnu Padayo Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devim Gauravane Pracharine Nivishesha Shunavari Pasatya Rishatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padayo Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Itinamine Shri Varshabhana Videvi Deitaya Kripabdvaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurjojala Primadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravane Shri Murtai Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Posiddhanta Dantarine Namagore Kishoraya Sakchavera Murthaye Vipralambhara Sambhode Paramujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchit Anandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumiswam Nirdesha Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhuma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Ivata Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranayo Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnayo Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattamakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataro Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Suratupangor Mama Mandamatir Gatir Masarvasa Parambojo Radha Madanamohanam Divya Vindaranya Kalpadumadha Shmara Nagara Shingasanasto Shmaradha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtali Vishemama Nushmarami Shmara Sarasarambi Bamshvata Tatastitam Karshan Venu Swanar Gopir Gopinata Shriyestuna Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrusavanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Mangala Charan Ki Jai. That is my plan. Suchan Brahma Sangita. I've got my copy. Oh, nice. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhakti Vishwamati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavani Bhaskati Distari Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Yesterday we heard a very interesting question and answer between a lady or two ladies and Srila Prabhupada. And our homework was to write down all the main points that were made. Did anyone do that? No? Oh, no, it's for today. Okay, that's all right. Anyway, I did it, so we can go over it now because the answers were so profound. It's very interesting to see how Prabhupada answered these questions. And this year we'll do this more also because it's good to hear Prabhupada and then to understand how he's presenting Krishna consciousness. And if we do it in the same way, then we become expert preachers. It's not easy for most people to become expert preachers because they have too many personal desires. But when we focus on becoming a preacher, many of those desires go away and we're able to convince people to become Krishna conscious. So, the first question by this lady is, what is Krishna consciousness? So Prabhupada said, Krishna means God, and we are all connected with Krishna. God is the original Father. Therefore, we have got intimate connection with Krishna. So, however, we have forgotten it. What is Krishna? What is my connection with Krishna? What is the aim of life? All these questions are needed to be answered. And when one becomes interested with such questions, he or she is called Krishna conscious. Okay, so that was direct answer by Prabhupada. Then the lady asked a second question. How did Krishna consciousness develop? So in other words, Prabhupada is saying that Krishna means God. The question is, what is Krishna consciousness? He says Krishna means God. We are all connected with Krishna. God is the original Father. Therefore, we have got an intimate connection with Krishna, but we have forgotten it. We have forgotten who or what is Krishna. What is my connection with him? And what is the aim of life? All these questions are there. And when one becomes interested in such questions, he or she is called Krishna conscious. So there it is, very simple, direct answer. Next question. How did Krishna consciousness develop? Prabhupada. Krishna consciousness is already there in everyone's core of heart. But due to one's material conditional life, he or she has forgotten it. So this process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra means to revive that consciousness. It is already there. Just like a few days ago, these American and European boys and girls, they did not know who was Krishna. But now you have seen yesterday how their whole, let's say, way of life now
is this chanting and dancing and ecstasy. So, do you think that is artificial? No. Artificially, no one can chant and dance for hours together. That means the awakening of Krishna consciousness. It was there by the bona fide process. It is now awakened. That is explained. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sajikabunai Shavanadi Sudha Chitta Karaya Udaya. The Krishna consciousness is dormant in everyone's heart. So when he comes in contact with devotees, that is awakened. Just like to be attracted by a young girl or young boy. It is there in the child. That small child, it is there. And when he will be young, then it will be awakened. It is not that artificial, it's not some artificial something. So in association, it is awakened. The potency is there already, but in good association, by hearing about Krishna, one is awakened to the status of Krishna consciousness. Wow, so that's the answer by Prabhupada. To the question, how did Krishna consciousness develop? So it's not, it developed, this person said this, that person said that. No, it's already there in the heart of the living entity, because we all were originally with Krishna. But we've forgotten. It's by association with devotees that we can remember, and especially this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay, the third question. What is the difference between Krishna consciousness and Christ consciousness? Prabhupada, Christ consciousness is also Krishna consciousness. But people do not follow the rules and regulations. He's talking about Christians now. He says, Christ consciousness is also Krishna consciousness, but people do not follow the rules and regulations of Christianity. Therefore, they are not awakened. The commandments of Christ are not followed properly. Therefore, they do not come to the standard of consciousness. What is unique about Krishna consciousness? Okay, so now the lady's asking the fourth question. What is unique? In other words, his point is the Christians don't actually follow the rules and regulations put down by Jesus. And he's going to explain this now even in more depth. So the fourth question, what is unique about Krishna consciousness that separates it from other religions? If it is a religion, Prabhupada, religion means primarily to know God and love God. That is religion. And nobody knows God. And what to speak of loving Him? Nobody is trained up how to know God and how to love Him. They are satisfied by going to the church. Oh God, give us our daily bread. That also, not everybody goes to church. The communists say, you don't have to go to church. We will give you bread. So poor innocent persons, they get bread from someone else, like the communists. So they do not go to church anymore. But no one is serious to understand what is God and how to love Him. Nobody is serious. Therefore, in Bhagavatam, it is said that it's a cheating religion. I profess some religion, but I do not know what is God and how to love God. So that type of religion is a cheating religion. Religion means to know God and love Him. But generally, a man does not know what is God and what to speak of loving Him. So therefore, that is cheating religion. That is not religion. But so far Christian religion is concerned, there is ample chance of understanding God, but they do not care for it. Take, for example, the commandment, thou shalt not kill. But in the Christian world, they have the best slaughterhouses, and they're maintaining them to kill animals. So how can they become God conscious? They disobey the commandments. Do not care for Lord Jesus. Christ's order. So this is not only in Christian religion. So Christ's order, in other words, one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill. He said, but this is not only in the Christian religion. Every religion, the same thing is going on. It is simply a rubber stamp. I am Hindu. I am Muslim. I am Christian. And none of them know what is God and how to love him. So he's coming back to the main point of what is religion. And it's to know God and to love him. And now we're getting a lot more information here that most people are simply rubber stamped as religious, but they're not actually knowing God and loving God. And none of them do know what is God and how to love him. How does one know a bona fide spiritual master? Okay, another question. Then, how does one know a bona fide spiritual master? Who teaches these things? How to know God and how to love him? Okay, Prabhupada's answer. That whoever teaches these things to know God and how to love him, he is a spiritual master. Otherwise, he's a bogus rascal. Sometimes they mislead. I am God. Poor people, they do not know what is God. And a rascal proposes, I am God. And they accept it. Just like in your country. They elected Nixon president. And then again, they dragged him out of office. That means they did not know who was really a bona fide president. They elected somebody. And again, they had to drag him out of his position. Simply, people are foolish. Any rascal comes, he says, I am God, they accept it. And again, they accept another God. Reject that one or accept another God. This is going on. So one must be a serious student to understand what is God and how to love him. See, Prabhupada is not letting go of this point. That is religion. Otherwise, it is simply waste of time. That we are teaching. That is the difference between others and our Krishna consciousness. We are presenting Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the scientific knowledge of the Lord, and how to know him. The Bhagavad Gita is there. The Bhagavata is there. So, Bhagavad Gita is the spoken word of Krishna himself, and the Bhagavata is the Bhagavad Gita. So you have the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. Krishna is the person Bhagavat, and Bhagavad Gita is the book Bhagavat. Bhagavat means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is not bogus. This is authorized. Therefore, this is the only institution that's presenting bona fide knowledge of who God is and how to love him, which can teach how to know God and how to love him. So these are the two principal things that determines if someone is religious. There is no third business. It is not our business to ask God to give us our necessities. We know God gives necessities to everyone. Everyone who has no religion even. Just like the cats and dogs, they don't have a religion. They do not know what is religion, but still the cats and dogs are supplied with necessities of life. So why should we bother Krishna asking for the necessities of life or asking for bread like they do in the Christian religion? give us our daily bread. He is supplying already. Our business is how to love him. That is religion. Dharma projita kaitavacha paramo nirmatsaranam satam vastavam vastuvetyam atra. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter. And then he says, Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktira hoksaje. This is first canto, second chapter, sixth verse. It says, this is first-class religion which teaches how to love God. And that love is not for any material motive. God, you give me this, then I will love you. No. Ahaituki. Ahaituki means, love means without any personal profit. If I love God for some profit, that is business. That is not love. Ahaituki, apratihata. And so ahaituki means without any material purpose. And apratihata means without any, let's say, hiatus in the service. So it means that one is always engaged in devotional service, and one does not have any material desire to obtain through the service. One's only purpose is to please God. And such love of God cannot be checked by any material cause. In other words, nothing can stop such love of God. Even if one is put in prison or in solitary confinement, they can continue their service to God. How is that? Well, there is physical service and there's mental service. Both are accepted by Krishna. In any condition, one can learn how to love God. It is not conditional. Oh, I am a poor man. How shall I love God? I have got so many things to do. No, it is not like that. Poor, rich, young or old, black or white, there is no impediment if one wants to love God. He can love God. No one can stop him. Are there different paths? Okay, so next question. Question number 6. Are there different paths that one can learn to love God? Answer, no. There is nothing, there's no different path. I mean, are there, okay, so the lady is asking the question again. I mean, are there other spiritual paths? Do all spiritual paths lead to the same end? Spiritual paths are divided into 4. This is Prabhupada's answer. Not spiritual, real spiritual, and mixed spiritual. So he's going to explain the 4 mixed spiritual paths. Mixed with what? Mixed with some material desire. So they're not pure, but they are explained in the Bhagavad Gita, where it says, Chaturvidha Bhajantimam Jana Sukritina Rijana Artha Jigyasa Artha Ati Gyanicha Paratar Sabasa. That's the 4th chapter, 15th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Let's look at that real quick. Actually, 4th chapter. It's not the 4th. Okay. Anyway, we'll come back to this. All right, we'll come back to it. Anyway, he's going to explain it here. He says, spiritual paths are divided into 4. Not spiritual, real spiritual, or mixed spiritual. So, so he's going to talk about mixed spiritual path. Just like this, God give us our daily bread. It is mixed spiritual. One has approached God. God is spiritual, but one is asking for material profit. So this is mixed. mixed matter and spirit. So there are 4 classes generally known as karmi, fruitive actors. They work for getting some material profit. They are called karmi. Just like all men, you will see, they are working so hard day and night, driving their cars. Prabhupada makes the noise, whiz, 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 whiz. This way and that way they are going. The purpose is how to get money. We'll see that this morning. The work is going to start again. And you'll see cars going here, there, and everyone's trying to make some money. This is called a karmi. That is a person who is thinking mainly about just making money and then spending it, buying things, and then enjoying sense gratification at night. And then jnani. Jnani means he knows that I am working so hard. But he asks the question, why am I working so hard? The birds and the beasts and the elephants, there are 8 million different types of bodies in the universe. You have the aquatics, and then you have the plants, and you have the bugs and the reptiles, and then you have the birds, and then you have the mammals, and then you have human beings and demigods. So why unnecessarily I am working so hard? So this is the question that the Jnani asks. Why am I working so hard? Let me know what is the problem of life. So they understand the problem of life is birth, death, old age, and disease. So they want to solve in order to become immortal. So they have conclusion that if I merge into God's existence, then I become immortal and immune from birth, death, old age, and disease. This is called a jnani, someone who cultivates spiritual knowledge. And some of them are yogis. So you have the jnanis and the mystic yogis. They try to acquire, the yogis try to acquire some spiritual power to make a show. How he can be such a show-off? So they develop these mystical powers. And, for example, anima is one mystical power. They can become smaller than the smallest, or they can fly through the air or float in the sky by becoming lighter than the lightest. That's called lagima. So in this way, if someone can show this magic, then immediately he is accepted as a very wonderful man. So yogis, the modern yogis, they simply show some gymnastic. In other words, in ancient times, there were real mystic yogis. Today, they're just doing some gymnastics, twisting the body like a pretzel. And everyone goes, ooh, ah, but they don't really have real mystical powers. The modern yogis, they simply show some gymnastic, but they have no power. So I am not speaking of these third-class yogis. Real yogi means he has got some power. That is material power. So yogis also want this power. And jnanis also want salvation from the unnecessary working like an ass. And the karmi wants material profit. So they all want something. But the bhaktas, the devotees, they don't want anything material. They want to serve God out of love, just like a mother loves her child. There's no question of profit. Out of affection, she loves. So when you come to that stage to love God, that is perfection. So these different processes, karmi, jnani, yogi, bhakta, or bhakti. Out of these 4 processes, if you want to know God, then you have to accept this bhakti, pure devotion without any material motive. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijananti yamanyaschas vitatpratatato mam tato gyatva vishteta danatanam. 18th chapter, 55th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Simply through the process of bhakti, one can understand me, God says, or Krishna says. He never says by other processes. No. Only through bhakti. Because the other processes, the karma, the jnana, the yoga, or mystic yoga, they all have some purpose to fulfill, a material purpose. The karmi, or the karma, by doing karma yoga, but being attached to the result, one wants to get rich or be promoted to the heavenly planets where the duration of life is much longer and the sense gratification is much greater and everything is much better than on the earth planet, but they're still subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. Instead of being a second-class or third-class prisoner in the material world, now they're promoted to being first-class prisoners, but they're still prisoners. Okay. So, and then the jnanis, they're saying, wait a minute, why am I working so hard? Let me renounce everything and merge into the Brahman effulgence, and then I become like God. Well, to a certain extent, that is true, but it's still a material desire. It's not a spiritual, pure spiritual desire. And then there's the mystic yogis. They learn how to master the 8 siddhis, or perfections, like anima, lagima, garima, mahima. There's 8 of these material perfections. Some of those material perfections have been achieved also by mechanical means, by modern scientists and engineers. Like you can fly through the air now in an airplane. The yogis, they can do it without the airplane. They have the ability to fly through the air just with their body. But the materialists, using mechanical means, have made a facsimile of the same thing by having airplanes. So these are actually material achievements. They're not actually spiritual. Okay. So then it says, but if you want to know God, then you have to accept this bhakti yoga. In the 18th chapter, 55th verse, where Krishna says, it's only by devotional service that I can be known. And pure devotional service, not mixed devotional service. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, 1855. Simply through the process of bhakti, one can understand me, God. He never, this is Krishna speaking, this is the quote, this is the translation of that verse, 1855. Prabhupada is not saying this. Simply through the process of bhakti, one can understand me, or God. He never says by other processes. Only through bhakti. So if you're interested to know God and love Him, then you have to accept this devotional process. No other process will help you. Okay, next question. So we're on question number 6. Okay, it's question number 7. What are the methods used in attaining Krishna consciousness? How does one get to be Krishna conscious? Prabhupada. By Krishna consciousness, you achieve the goal of life. In the present condition, we are accepting one body, and we are dying after some time. Then accept another. Then we accept another body, and that body is according to your activity and desires. There are 8,400,000 different types of bodies in the universe. You can get any one of them. You'll have to accept one body, material body. That is called transmigration of the soul. In other words, when you have a material body, it is covering the soul. That's our condition right now. When you're liberated, then you get your spiritual body. Well, you have a spiritual body even now, but it's covered by the material body. But once you purify all these material desires and replace them with pure desires to please Krishna, eventually that material body becomes spiritualized. And then when you leave your body, you go back to Godhead in your spiritual body. So we have a spiritual body right now, but it's covered by the material body. So we don't it's not it's acting, it's in a dormant stage. But once we begin to purify ourselves, then it manifests. Okay, so why I am changing the body and how to solve this problem, that is intelligence. Not to work like cats and dogs and die in ignorance and then take another birth and with another different material body. That's ignorance. I am changing this body. How to solve this change of body, that is intelligence. But to live like cats and dogs and die in ignorance and then get another material body, that's not intelligence. One who makes a solution of this problem of changing the body, he or she is intelligent. So therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is the ultimate solution of all problems of life. And what are those problems? Birth, old age, disease, and death. Okay, next question, number 8. What transformations does one undergo on the path of Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada, no transformation. The consciousness is there. It is now filled with rubbish things. You have to cleanse this mind and intelligence. And then Krishna consciousness takes over. Just like water. Water is by nature clear, transparent. But when it's filled up with rubbish things, for example, when it becomes muddy, you cannot see very clearly. But if you filter it, in other words, filter out all the muddy things, dirty things, then again, it comes to its original position, clear, transparent water. Okay, and next question, number 9. Does one function better in society as a result of affiliation with Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, what is this question? One of the devotees say, is he a better citizen? And also sociologically or culturally, is he a better person? Can he work better in the community? Prabhupada, that you can see practically. None of these boys and girls are drunkards, nor are they meat eaters. From the physiological point of view, they're very clean, and they'll never be attacked with so many diseases. Then they do not eat meat, because that is most sinful, to kill other living entities for the satisfaction of the tongue. God has given to the human society so many things to eat. Nice fruits, nice vegetables, nice nuts and grains, and first-class milk. And from milk, you can prepare hundreds of nutritious foods. But they do not know the art. They are maintaining big slaughterhouses and eating meat. They have no discrimination. That means they are not even civilized. When a man is not civilized, he kills an animal and eats it because he does not know how to grow his food. Just like we have got one farm land in New Vrindavan in West Virginia. So we are preparing, this is like, 40 years ago. So we are preparing first-class preparations from milk. And our neighbors come, and they're astonished that from milk you can make so many nice preparations, hundreds. So that means they're not even civilized. How to prepare nutritious food from milk. Milk, accepting that cow flesh and blood is very nutritious. Okay, we also accept you saying that cow flesh and blood is nutritious. That we also admit. But a civilized man utilizes the blood and meat in a different way. The milk is nothing but blood, but it is transformed into milk. And again, from milk, you can make so many other delicious dishes. you make yogurt, you make curd, you make ghee, so many things. And the combination of these milk products with grains, with fruits and vegetables, you make similar hundreds of preparations. So this is civilized life. Not that directly kill one animal and eat it. That is uncivilized life. You accept the cow's flesh and blood because it's nutritious, but you should take it in a civilized way. Why you should kill it, kill the animal? It is an innocent animal. It's simply eating grass given by God and supplying milk. And from milk you can live. And the gratefulness is that you cut his throat. Is that civilization? Why do you say, okay, so then she asks, she says, what you are saying, is that civilization? I agree 100%. But I want you to say these things, though, instead of me. So, okay, so the girl is speaking now. I'm asking you questions so that hopefully I don't have to answer them. I want to hear your answers. So Prabhupada says, so these things are uncivilized way of life. And what will you understand about God if you do these things? It's not possible. I'm asking, okay, the girl says, I'm asking these questions for others, of course, who do not understand Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada, to understand God means one must be first-class civilized person, just like the university is meant for first-class students. Similarly, God consciousness means it is meant for the first-class human being. Okay, now she asks another question. This is number 9. This is number 10. This question is a hard one for me to ask because it shows ignorance on my part. But I'm not asking it in ignorance. I want your answer on tape, okay? Does all desire ultimately have to go, including the desire to attain Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada. Without Krishna consciousness, you will have simply rubbish desires. And when you are Krishna conscious, then your desire is rightful, is correct. Okay, next question. The aim of many spiritual paths is to find the Guru within. So this is number 11. Within, Prabhupada says? The Guru within? Who says that? To find Guru within. So someone says, oh, Kripal Singh. He's one person who says that. And somebody else says, oh, it's Krishnamurti. He says that also. So why? So Prabhupada says, so why do they come to teach? That means if they say there's a guru within, why are they coming and trying to act like a guru? You don't need them, right? If the guru is within, you don't need these nonsense people. The rascal, why does he come to teach? This is the answer. These things are spoken by rascals. In other words, rascals say, oh, they have to find the guru within. He has come to teach, and he says, find out Guru within. That means he's not a guru then, right? The Guru is within. Then why you have come to teach? Because people are not intelligent. They cannot catch him. In other words, they can't understand the anomaly here. He's saying the Guru is within. So why did he come then? I can just look within myself. He talks all nonsense, and they hear. And they believe it. That's all. He has also written a book about no books are needed. Some other devotee says that. Well, if he says no books are needed, then why does he write a book? Right. So you can find out how rascal he is it not? Do you admit or not? He writes a book and he says there's no need of books. He has come to teach and he says there's no need of teacher. Teacher is within. teacher is within. Is he not a rascal? Well, they say, those people, no. First of all, you answer my question. If he says contradictory things, is he not a rascal? Well, he's contradicting himself, therefore he is a rascal. He does not know how to defend. Can the Vedas be taken? Okay, now next question. Can the Vedas be taken symbolically as well as literally? So this is question number 11. 12. As it is, we are presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is, not symbolically. Are you attempting to revive? I feel like okay, so she's asking another question. I feel like asking this question in two different ways. First, I'll ask it one way, which is, in a sense, incorrect. Maybe I'll just ask it this way and just get your answer. Are you attempting to revive the Western awareness? Are you attempting to revive the ancient Indian caste system in the West? Okay, so that's her question. Where do you, Prabhupada's answer, where do you find we are reviving caste system? Where do you find that? First of all, let me know why you are asking this question. If you have seen that we are trying to introduce the Indian caste system, then you can say, but if there's no such attempt, why you are asking this question? Well, because a lot of people are interested, and a lot of people. You're also one of those people. So where did you find that we are trying to establish the ancient caste system, introduced caste system? First of all, find out where is this attempt. I mean, in other words, look, you're asking this question as if it's something we're doing. Like, why don't you find out if we're actually doing it or not? Right? First of all, find out where is the attempt. Then you can ask the question. Otherwise, it is irrelevant question. The Gita mentions the caste system. Gita, do you know that? The 4 castes and an untouchable caste. What is that? On the basis of what? I can't locate it. Okay, she's saying, what is that you just said? The 4 castes and the untouchable caste. On the basis of what? I can't locate it directly, but the Brahma or Brahmananda, who has said this is caste system? This is not caste system. Okay, that's Prabhupada says that. So now he says, Chaturvanya Maya Sristam Gunakarma Vibhagasaha. This 4th chapter, 13th verse. According to quality and according to work, there are 4 divisions of people. Just like you can understand, there are engineers and there are medical practitioners. So do you take them as a caste? Oh, he is engineer caste, he is medical caste. Do you say like that? And then she says, well, I don't want to say what I feel because I'm recording you. I'm asking you. Well, I think there's always been caste. It's just that we don't recognize the fact that they exist. Okay, that's what she says. Now, Prabhupada. No. Recognize means if a man is qualified medical man, we accept him as medical man. And if a man is qualified engineer, we accept him as an engineer. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita it is there, that there are 4 classes of men. The most intelligent class of men, the administrative class of men, the productive class of men, and the ordinary worker. That is already there. Bhagavad Gita says how they should be classified. That he belongs to this class, he belongs to that class. That is described in Bhagavad Gita. Not that it is by birth or hereditarily one becomes a member of a caste. You please try to don't misunderstand this. The classification is always there. One class of men are very intelligent. Is he not there in the human society? Do you think all men are equally intelligent? Do you think there must be one class only? Very highly intelligent class? So what are the symptoms of the intelligent class? That is described in Bhagavad Gita. The first class intelligent man is he who can control his mind, who can control his senses, and who is very truthful, very clean, very simple, very tolerant, very advanced in knowledge. And he knows how to apply the knowledge in life situations, and he has strong faith in God. This is first class man. So it is not within India. Wherever you find all these qualities, he is first class man. So we are trying to introduce that without first class man, the society is useless. So there is first class men. You train them up, just like a boy. How do you feel about, okay, now she asks another question. How do you feel about women's women's liberation? And then the devotee says, she wants to know about women's liberation. What is our... See, she didn't let Prabhupada finish. He just explained about the first-class men, but he gave the criterion. It doesn't matter about birth. It matters about their training and education. So, just like a doctor. The doctor might come from a poor family, but he went to school and he was able to get through all the school, pass all the tests, and then he did his internship, and now he's a doctor. You don't care whether he comes from a rich family or poor family or from a Brahmin family or from a Sudra family. You just care if he's qualified, right? So that's the Vedic system of caste. It's not based on hereditary considerations or birth. It's based on whether the person is qualified. And people can get qualified if they accept to be trained. Right? So now she changes course. What do you think about women's liberation? And then the devotee says, she wants to know about women's liberation. What is our feeling about women's liberation? And Prabhupada says, that is something I don't want to discuss. And then everyone laughs. But since you have asked, I may explain how foolish women are being cheated by the intelligent men. Whoa. You see? So, a devotee says, Srila Prabhupada is liberating everybody who chant Hare Krishna. They have their... so then Prabhupada says, in your country, they have given you, meaning women, liberty. Liberty means equal rights, is it not? Man and women have got equal rights. They are trying this experiment in your country. All right, you're trying. But you women, you cannot see that this so-called equal right means cheating the women. They're cheating the woman. Now I say more clearly that a woman and man meet. Now they become lovers. Then they have sex. And the woman becomes pregnant. And then the man goes away. The simple woman, she has to take charge of raising the children or raising the child. And if she's coming from a lower background, she has to beg from the government alms. Please give me money. This is your independence? This is liberation of women? Do you admit this is independence? That the man makes the woman pregnant and then he goes away without any responsibility, and the woman cannot give up the child? She tries to maintain, begging from the government. Okay, so did you look up the other homework I gave yesterday? Huh? Not only that, I wanted to know if what he's saying here is true. You would have to look up what happened after Roe versus Wade, 1962 or 3. Did the number of women getting pregnant and having children increase or decrease? It was supposed to decrease, right? but actually it didn't. It decreased a little bit, and then it boomeranged again. So the whole premise that and most of the abortions have been done on poor women. Not all of them, but most of them, and mostly on blacks and Mexicans, and in general poor women. So and then another thing happened, that since the government was giving money to women who don't have a husband, many couples divorced purposely so that the wife could get the money. And what happened, oftentimes, if the men were completely irresponsible, that is fact, many men, she would get pregnant by other men just to keep getting the money for raising the children. Do you find anything? Okay. Okay, yeah. Did you find something?
Yeah, so Maharaj, there are some data about yearly the number of abortions happened in United States. So it's around there are multiple institutes. Currently, I'm reading from CDC data, and from 2010 onwards they have list in this Wikipedia, and it's around hovering around 700k. It's a range every year. To 2010 it was 700,000 something, and then similar numbers are quoting till to 2020 is like 2019. 2019 it says 600,000 something total every year abortions, and the
Okay.
abortion rate is currently in 2019 was 11:4.
What?
The rate 11.4. I don't know how they have calculated. I need to read.
What
but
is 11.4? What is that?
the abortion rate.
Out of women? Out of population of women? Okay, anyway.
I need to read more.
Yeah. So, yeah, but so that doesn't count contraceptives. And okay, so it's 11.4 women. Okay. The number is greater than that, but anyway. So what's the number for 2020? Total number of abortions? Almost 1 million. Yeah, that's what we have on our. Yeah. Okay, so what's happened is the number of abortions has an effect on the number of people. So when there are less children being born, if it keeps going on like that, it becomes a national emergency, because you won't have enough people working to support the Social Security, and you'll have people living longer maybe. Of course, they tried to cure that by solve that problem by purposely having COVID to kill old people, and they killed most of the people that died in COVID were old people. And this is to save the Social Security fund that's been robbed by Congress of the United States. They don't have enough money to pay people who live longer after they retire from working. And then the number of kids being born in the country is going down, so there's going to be fewer workers that they can tax to pay the Social Security, savings that is supposed to pay people once they retire. So you see, it causes a lot of problems. Right? So it hasn't solved the problem, it's created new problems and serious problems. So Prabhupada says, whether or not it is good to kill a child, that is the question. Yes, they are killing now by abortion. So, is this actually liberation for women? A woman has an affair with a man and she gets pregnant, the man leaves, then she has to beg alms from the government to support the child. These are usually poor women, right? Or she has to kill the child. So is that good or bad? You have made your choice to kill your own child. Is that very good choice? So the lady says, oh, it's the worst crime you could commit. Do you think it's very good business? I think this is very complicated. Oh, she says, I think it's very complicated. Therefore, I say they are cheating you in the name of independence. In other words, very intelligent men have have helped women liberation movement so that they can exploit women and not have any responsibility. And this is like an amazing point that he's making, and it's actually true. Therefore, I say they are cheating you in the name of independence. That you do not understand. They are cheating you, and you are thinking you are independent. They forget the responsibility that comes with freedom. Yes, they do not take the responsibility. They go away, they enjoy and go away. So he's talking about the irresponsible men. And the woman has to take the responsibility, either kill the child or maintain by begging. Do you think begging is very good? In India, although they are poverty-stricken, still they do not remain independent. Oh, he's talking about previously, women would always stay married. They remain under the husband, and the husband takes all responsibility. So she has neither to kill the child nor to beg for maintaining the child. So which is independence? To remain under husband is independence, or to become free and be enjoyed by everyone? That's not where the freedom is anyway. So there's no freedom. Still they think that they have freedom. That means, okay, the men are cheating the women, that's all. So in the name of independence, they have agreed to be cheated by another class. That is the situation. In spite of that, can women know Krishna? So that's the next question. We have no such distinction. No distinction. We give Krishna consciousness both to the woman and to the man equally. We do not make any distinction. But to protect them from this exploitation by men, we teach something that you do not like. You do not like. You be married, be settled, don't wander independently. We teach this. But so far, Krishna consciousness is concerned, we equally distribute the knowledge. There is no such discrimination. Oh, you are a woman, less intelligent or more intelligent, therefore you cannot come. We don't say that. We welcome women, men, poor, rich, everyone, because in that platform there is equality. In other words, on a spiritual level there is equality. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmani Gavi Hastini, Sunichaiva Swapakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. This is Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 18th verse. We do not refuse anyone. That is equality. How do you deal with negativity? Okay, it's another question. In other words, that verse that he just quoted says that a person who's actually a real pundit, he sees with equal vision a brahmana, a kshatriya, or vaishya, or sudra, or a malecha, or yavana, or an animal or an insect with equal vision. He sees the presence of God in the heart of every living entity, including the plants also. And therefore, he does not try to, let's say, discriminate. He gives equal opportunity to everyone to make spiritual progress. So one time, a person asked Prabhupada a question. He said, well, you say it's equal opportunity. What do you do for the ants? He said, oh, when a devotee sees an ant, he gets 1 grain of sugar that has been offered to the deity, puts it in the path of the ant, and he goes like this, Hare Krishna. So that is to help the ant. See? So we don't discriminate against any living entity, let alone women. So every day, next question. How does one deal with negativism or negativity? Negativity means just like we say, so Prabhupada says, negativity means just like we say, no illicit sex. We say, we teach our students no illicit sex. Do you think it is negative? What do you mean by your question? And she says, the situation is that other people think that it's negative, and therefore they feel negativity toward you. So how should you react to that? Well, Prabhupada says, well, how do you deal within yourself? What do you mean negativity within yourself? But if you get a lot of people that are working against you, okay, so she says, if you get a lot of people that are working against you, here you are surrounded by people who are positive, that are reinforcing you. But when you get yourself in the outside world in a position where there are people that are draining you and taking your energy, how do you replenish that energy? Okay, that's her question. And so Prabhupada says, so do you think nobody is against you? I'm asking you. And she says, do I think nobody's against me? Oh, sure, there are people who are against me that don't care about me. Prabhupada, so there are against and for. Why do you bother about the against? As there are some people against us. There are many people for us, so that is the position in every field of activity. So if somebody is against us, why should we bother about it? Let us go on with our policy of work. For instance, if the day goes by and the devotee meets only with people who are against him, he makes bad contacts and he feels drained. How does he replenish? Okay, so this is her question again. How does he replenish? Our devotees are not so fickle. They go to the person who is against us and induce him to purchase a book. We are selling books daily, a huge amount. So there's no question of against us. Anyone who is even against us, he is persuaded to purchase one book. So how he is against us? He is purchasing our book. What is the daily amount of sales of our books? And devotee says, we sell about 25,000 books and magazines a day. And then Prabhupada says, what is the price? The collection would be approximately around $35,000 to $40,000 a day. This is all over the world, not just the United States. We are collecting $40,000 a day by selling books. How can I say that people are against us? And the girl says, well, you're very positive. I like that. And then, where is there any other institution who can sell $40,000 a day of religious books? So how do you say that they're against us? My last question. Okay, now she asks her last question. Could you tell me about the Hare Krishna mantra, because it is so important? to Krishna consciousness. And I'd like to have, an explanation. Is it very simple? And Prabhupada says, Hare means O energy of Krishna, and Krishna means O Lord. Both of you kindly engage me in your service. That's all. Both of you, Krishna and his energy. Just like here, we have got conception of male and female. Similarly, originally, God and his energy. God is male, and energy is female. In other words, Radharani. Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is the enjoyer, and Prakriti is the enjoyed. This ideal of male and female, where does it come from? God is manufacturing so many males and females. So the male and female idea, where does it come from? It comes from God. He is the original origin of everything. So the female, or the Prakriti, the enjoyed, or the energy of God, and God himself, he is called Purusha, the enjoyer. So we are appealing both God and his energy combined together. Engage us in their service. This is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare means, oh, the energy of God. And then, oh Krishna, oh Lord, both of you take care of me and engage me in your service. That's all. This is the meaning. And then she says, okay, thank you. And I lost some other questions, I guess, when I moved into the house, etc., etc. All right, so we'll stop right there. It goes on. Then a second lady begins to ask Prabhupada questions. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. Are there any questions? So you see, Prabhupada is not afraid to answer very challenging questions. And this lady was asking good questions, and he honestly answered them. Now, some people agree, some people disagree, but the hot button questions, like, what about women? How do you treat women? And right away Prabhupada became very, very, let's say, direct. He didn't walk around in circles. He said, look, the intelligent men in your country have fooled you with the idea of equal rights and independence. But actually what they did was they give you independence, and then men become irresponsible. And they get women pregnant, and they go away and don't accept responsibility. Now that happens a lot in the United States now. It was much less before. But as soon as they made abortion legal, and then they made what's called no-fault divorce. In other words, previously you had to prove that there was a real reason to be divorced. But there are states now, like Washington State, it's no-fault divorce. You don't have to have a reason. You just ask for a divorce and you'll get it, right? So all these things have made it possible for the men to be irresponsible, to take advantage of women and then just walk away and not get any. Well, if you're married and you don't, and then there's a divorce and you don't pay the alimony, now they go after you somewhat. But before they even didn't do that, they had to pass that law because so many men were not paying. So anyway, you see this whole idea of abortion and then easy divorce has changed things in the what you would call the institution of the family in the United States. And because of that, many children are being born and not taken care of properly, and they become a nuisance in society. So therefore Prabhupada is directly addressing that issue, which is a real issue, and it has very catastrophic effects on society. Okay, so we'll stop there. There are no questions, and we'll have a Guru Puja. Hari Bol.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Bandho Mui Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bai E Baba Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Koriya Kya Arana Khori Ho Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Gati Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु लोकेनाथ लोकेरा जीवना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया एबे जास गुशुक त्रिभुवना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पवना जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajagachas Tarasatara Shishi Shimadis Devastas A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anatakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaitacharya Ki Jai Anatakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Guru Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samkunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapura Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavane Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. The
The
lotus
lotus
feet
feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which you can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and gain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from the lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is Yoshimursi, friend of the poor and Lord and master of devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread throughout all the three worlds. We take shelter in lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om